Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a postcard of the week. This week, we're going to be showing you and introducing you to our speaker for this coming Saturday's Wichita Postcard Club April meeting. This will be on April 2, Saturday afternoon. Stop in about 1:45 and we'll introduce each other and so forth. And then at 2 o'clock, we'll start the meeting. This Saturday, we're going to be meeting once again Kyle Jolliffe from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and our northern neighbor. And Kyle is no stranger to this group. He's been here last year and talked on, you remember, the Art Deco architecture in New York City with Radio City Music Hall and the Empire State Building, getting to see inside those buildings and the hallways and so forth. It was great. We asked Kyle to come back again this year, if he would please, and he is really going to take us on a trip and a journey, but I'm going to let him tell you about that now. So this is Kyle Jolliffe from Toronto, Canada. Take it away, Kyle.
Thanks, Hal, for the great introduction. My main collecting area is New York City postcards, but a special subset of that are postcards of the 1939 New York World's Fair. And that was an extraordinary World's Fair, ranking in importance with the 1893 St. Louis exhibition. It was important because it showcased American science and technology and design that helped take the country out of the depths of the Depression. And a lot of countries came, a lot of corporations came. It really represented a lot of parts of the whole world. And it also produced some amazing postcards. And I'm going to show those during the talk. Hundreds and hundreds of postcards, some wonderful linens, wonderful real photo postcards, some very highly collectible stuff, and the whole 1939 New York World's Fair is full of collectible stuff. It's teapots, it's lamps, it's buttons, it's brochures, it's all kinds of things. It's a proverbial rabbit's hole, going down the rabbit's hole. But postcards are a great introduction to the New York World's Fair because you can see pictures of many of the pavilions, sometimes inside. It really was a remarkable event. And if you can come to the meeting and see these, that'll be great. If not, it'll be on the Wichita Postcard Club YouTube site. Hal?
Yes, can you show us a card, kind of whet our appetite, so to speak, Kyle?
Yeah, the card I've chosen is a painting of the architectural models on the fair site. The fair site was 1,216 acres in size. And of course, they couldn't construct everything in advance of the fair. When it opened, there were still some pavilions under construction, but the way they got around that was to use architectural models, and they put all of those architectural models to produce a panoramic view of the fair, and that was painted by an artist and reproduced on the front of the postcard, and it shows the various zones of the fair. It had a transportation zone, it had an amusement zone, it had a government section, it had a community interest zone, it had a food zone, commercial and business interest zone, a production and distribution zone, the transportation zone. Companies like General Electric, Ford, GM, some companies that aren't here anymore, Crosley. Maybe some people know of the Crosley cars, or actually you can still get Crosley radios. I guess the company's still around, but you can't go to dealership and buy a Crosley car. The fair organizers were quite discriminating about the food vendors they chose, ranging from kind of low price food to some wonderful restaurants. The French had an extraordinary restaurant because war broke out. Uh, what would happen to all these restaurant chefs that crossed the ocean? It wasn't easy for them to go back. Well, they opened restaurants in New York City, and so there's some great French restaurants that were produced by that. There was a Swiss restaurant. There's also wonderful postcards of some of these restaurants as well. So there's just an extraordinary range of postcards. Some are view cards, a long series of, let's say, anywhere from 20 to 40 or 100 cards, maybe even 150, showing pavilions. A lot of the cards, because they were produced before the fair, show the architectural models. The fair had a second year, so there's many cards that show the actual pavilions. Because war broke out, that posed a problem for countries that were occupied, like Czechoslovakia. So Czechoslovakia had a big statement on the outside of its pavilion about it being an occupied country, and the English pavilion during the second year, displayed German bombs and stuff like that. And it really was an extraordinary showcase of science and technology and design for the future, looking forward to how America, would change, envisioning, how the interstate highways would shape America, envisioning how electricity, would change American life, and also, has changed American life. So I have a brochure from the General Electric building, for example, and it showcases, kitchen appliances, lamps, irons, toasters, vacuums, radio, television. Television was introduced at the fair. There was a television studio that people could go and see themselves on television at the television studio within the pavilion. GE had an X-ray display showing an X-ray of a 2,800-year-old Egyptian mummy. There was a lamp laboratory.
Kyle, could I interrupt and have you show us the other side of that postcard? Because I think that's
Sure.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So the theme of the world of tomorrow had a problem in that the world of today, the storm clouds of war were very much on the horizon. So it's an interesting postcard because it was mailed from New York to Germany. It's postmarked August the 11th, 1939, and war breaks out on September 1st. Okay, so and it goes via the SS Bremen. The SS Bremen was one of Germany's great transatlantic ocean liners. On its first voyage about 1930, it won the blue ribbon for the eastbound and the westbound crossings. It was a famous competition, kind of an informal competition for the fastest crossings. And so the message on the postcard is kind of mundane. It's somebody sending to his aunt a pound of green coffee that has to be roasted, and hopes she gets it by the 16th, and best wishes to uncle and aunt. But it's that contrast between the world of tomorrow that the fair promised, and the world of today / almost tomorrow, which was 5 years of war. So we saw a piece of it, and after that, so it's a wonderful contrast between the front and the back sides.
Right. It's just a wonderful time to have brought all of these things together to showcase developments and inventions and what have you. But that's what we're in for this coming Saturday, April 2, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. And thanks, Kyle, for being here today to help everyone get a little taste of what we have for this coming Saturday.
Oh,
Thanks
you're most
again.
welcome, Hal. Thanks very much.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.